The Rock has officially announced that he's retired from professional wrestling. The Rock has finally
Well,
come out and announced that.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you. I don't mean to interrupt, but you gotta. Q said he gotta leave. I think so.
Okay.
That's all I just want to tell you that.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm just saying because I didn't. He probably just left. I didn't see the text or anything. The Rock has officially retired from the WWE, and that because he's been off and on, and which kind of bums me out though is his last official match was with Eric Rowan, and that's the one that is going to be in the record books as the last match he had at WrestleMania 32.
So I don't. So he said he quietly retired
Yeah,
because that's such a Rock way to go out.
yeah.
I mean, he's doing too many movies. And that's the reason why basically he's doing too many movies. He's too busy. But if he wanted to do one more match, I think he could. But I don't think he has the schedule to do it. So that's why he's not.
I mean, I'm not mad at him for retiring. He should have retired years ago, to be honest with you. Because, it ain't like he been wrestling. The last full program match he had was with Cena in 2013.
And that's where I thought he was going to retire. That would have been a nice spot for him to officially retire.
Officially retire, hang it up, and then that way, when you come back to face Eric Rowan, you don't have to. That don't have to be in your record as a fucking match. You can just be like, all right, the retired Rock is coming out here, but then maybe the Rock didn't want them to put him in the Hall of Fame just yet.
I think. Well, I'm pretty sure he's gonna go to the Hall of Fame whenever if he says he's softly retired. Whenever he says officially, I am done. Like, and I want no more money for coming from Saudi. I don't care how much Saudi money I get. I'm done. Then they gonna put him in. Like I'm surprised we have no announcement yet that The Rock is in the Hall of Fame.
Honestly, I thought The Rock would probably be in the Hall of Fame in 2020. That's what I figured since him being, since him retiring. But I heard rumors also about Big Show and Kane.
Oof.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm about to get this up. Have you heard about this show called The Big Show Show?
Yeah, I heard about it, but I didn't get into it just yet.
Oh my gosh, it sounds like basically Big Show is living his life as a family. He got a daughter out of nowhere that he don't know. He don't live with him, and he gets outsmarted by his daughter. What the premise says. That sounds like something I don't want to watch. But
I'll probably talk about it next week. But I do want to stay on The Rock for a minute. Do you have? So, what are some of your, since he finally calls it a career, what are some of your favorite moments, like from The Rock, or was because I remember back in the day, The Rock was my mom's favorite wrestler. She loved The Rock. She loved what he was, especially doing all his urban youthisms. Back in the whole late '90s and stuff like that. But she loved The Rock. And I at first back then, I was still watching WCW stuff like that. But when I was seeing The Rock, I was like, he's cool and all. But I was always gravitated towards Stone Cold. I didn't start liking The Rock until I was forced to like The Rock, which was the year 2000 when Stone Cold got injured, and it was The Rock and Triple H holding that business up for that whole year.
He was like, "Damn, I gotta choose one." Huh?
And I was like, I was forced to like The Rock, and then I end up really digging The Rock, and then all of a sudden the whole Hollywood shit came, and I'm just like, fuck The Rock. I was really mad at The Rock. I was like, yo, you was in, because at first, remember when he was in Star Trek Voyager back in the day? Yeah, and then he had a little cameo that he did Saturday Night Live. He did some things that of course he did the Mummy Returns, and then the Scorpion King. And then he started doing them WWE produced films like Rundowns and Walking Tall. And I was like, all right, well, I don't understand, why The Rock just left. So then when The Rock came back in 2003 and started doing the whole heel Rock thing, that's when I really got into The Rock.
Okay.
I love that whole Hollywood heel. I'm sorry, Miz. The Rock did the Hollywood heel gimmick better and better than Batista. So when he came back, and not only did he put Booker T over more than Triple H ever did, he also put the Hurricane over.
Yeah.
This is probably the reason why they keep bringing the Hurricane back to like Legends things, like he's a legend, and he's not. The Hurricane is not a legend. I think a lot of people
just remember the gimmick as far as the gimmick. That's, the gimmick, not the actual like wrestling.
Yeah, look, the Rock with that whole Hurricane thing was the most entertaining shit that The Rock was doing on Raw, and how when the Hurricane would fly, and he would always sell it by looking upward.
Yeah, it's like, a lot of people do that.
And then when Hurricane was like, I heard that The Rock got a tiny ding-a-ling, he was just like, ah! Easy, big fella.
The Hamburglar.
Yeah, exactly. The Hamburglar and Grimace. He said, "Try chicken McNugget, you fat son bitch." I love The Rock at that time, and I was like, cause that's when he was like get to that heel role that had the whole Goldberg Rock program, and then I was bummed out again when he came back just to put over Hogan, to put over to get his win against Stone Cold, to put over Goldberg, and to leave out again for almost another fucking year. And then I was just like, what the hell, man? And I was like, you know what? If he's gonna keep coming back to the point after 2004 when he came back to do that handicap match with Evolution versus The Rock and Sock Connection, and that match was hilarious also because The Rock is entertaining, and because that look I didn't like. I hate that goatee look with the hair. I was like, yeah, he needs to either be bald or break that goatee or something. But yeah, after that, and then he started getting like swole as shit, and I'm like, Rock, why don't you just stay away? But I learned to appreciate The Rock more, as he got older. Because at first, as a diehard wrestling fan, I was a little upset, about The Rock. Can you give me some of your memories about The Rock other than overselling the Stunner?
I mean, his promos gotta be like one of the best things ever. One of my favorite Rock promos is the one about Billy Gunn.
Oh, that was a great promo.
And the heavens opened up, and God said, "Bob, but my name's Billy. It doesn't matter what your name is." Oh, that one is hilarious. Also, the one that he did for Hell in a Cell Armageddon. He talked about all the people in the match.
The only thing I did not like about that promo was when he said Stone Cold listened to the Backstreet Boys. Other than that, I was like, I love the whole promo. I love the whole thing. But I was like, the Backstreet Boys though, I was like, okay, but I mean, I get it. The only thing, quick minor spoiler alert for people who haven't seen Hobbs and Shaw. So I'm just saying, no, spoiler alert. But it's really not so. But remember when they was on the plane arguing, and him and Shaw was arguing on the plane, and then he did a Rock line. He said, "Look, if you want to go, there ain't nothing but air and opportunity between us." And there goes the air. I was dying. I was in the theater dying, and I was just like, yo, that's The Rock I remember, because I can see The Rock doing shit like that in WWE, and I'm like, when it comes to like the promos and stuff like that, he is easily the best to one of the best guys to ever be on the mic, especially him coming at Booker T, say it was 2 + 2 to Thomas Jefferson, sucker. Or him and Jericho coming at Stephanie McMahon. She's a hoe.
Those are hilarious.
Yeah.
She's the breast.
Yeah, she's a hoe with big breasts. So take the night off from hooking if you smell what The Rock is cooking. I was loving. You know what? That's why I was so happy when he was here, and I was so mad when he left. Cause I loved him that much.
Yeah, I liked his. He had a promo with Evo too. I think that was like the only time he ever fought ever. I had an interaction ever on TV.
Yeah,
I think it was. It's just entertaining for no reason.
Exactly. He really is one of the most electrifying men in sports entertainment, and I just when he left, it really bothered me. Like when Cena left for Hollywood, I was like, all right, Cena, now you being kind of a hypocrite because you called out The Rock for leaving, and I'm like, well, now you Hollywood. And the thing is, I like Cena. I had no problem with Cena. Same thing with Batista. Batista went for Hollywood, and it worked. Stone Cold went for Hollywood. The rest, I really think that's just his love. But The Rock, on the other hand, it's just that he's so popular, he's so loved, so many people like him. It's just that I would like to see him a lot of times in a WWE setting a lot. Kind of like when they had the Raw reunion. I'm like, I would love for The Rock to be there. When they had WrestleMania 30 with The Rock, Stone Cold, and Hulk Hogan, I would love, I love when The Rock comes back for that kind of stuff like that. I just like seeing The Rock in the wrestling ring or in the business. I know he says to the fans that, you can be a fan of me both ways and you can see me in all the movies. I'm like, yeah, I see Luke Hobbs dive out of the fucking skyscraper and tackle guys and live in Hobbs and Shaw. But, I do miss the jabroni beating, pie eating, some bitch, The Rock. I missed it.
I think The Rock may be the only person that distinguish himself away from wrestling. Like people, he's still known as The Rock. When you think of some people, when they think of The Rock, they think of straight the movies, not even wrestling.
Yeah,
I think he's the only person that probably does that. Because John Cena's still the wrestler. John Cena, other trying to transition. Batista, he may be almost there to where people say Batista not to think of Drax, but that's because he's in the MCU. But a lot of wrestlers, they still had the wrestler mentality. Like you said, The Rock. I think that his movies almost surpassed his wrestling with other people in their minds.
I think when The Rock started taking over his character and his self in Hollywood, I really think that's what took him away from wrestling. Because everybody was just like, first they kept doing the Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and now it's just Dwayne Johnson, and then they didn't play up to who he was. Like I was so sick and tired of the Rock being in these movies having all these white kids. I'm just like, y'all know he not white, right? I was like, okay, but all right, but then now
I'm okay. How much? How many million? You can throw Mexican. Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, okay. I'm like, the man is half Samoan, half black, so that's what it is. So play up to one of them sides, please. I'm like, now they start giving him mixed kids and stuff like that, and he turned out to be a really good actor. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, I love all that part of Rock. It just it's sad that now he wants to finally retire. It's that I want him to come into the Hall of Fame. It'd be nice if his dad inducts him, but he probably won't. He probably call it like Kevin Hart because he just would not stop calling Kevin Hart.
Nah, it'll probably be like Stone Cold or somebody.
Stone Cold, Cena, Kevin Hart, literally.
I mean, I don't think Kevin Hart he gonna have to have somebody he gonna have to have his rivalry. Triple H, Stone Cold. There's one or two I'm thinking is going to induct him.
I mean, it does make sense, but it's just kind of like, all right, well, everybody who probably should induct somebody doesn't. Like who inducted Mark Henry into? Oh, the Big Show. Okay, yeah, okay, that was well deserved. The Big Show inducted Mark Henry to the Hall of Fame. So
we keep playing. We're gonna have Kevin Hart and The Rock going in the same year. Kevin Hart was a guest host.
You right? Oh, that's right. They put guest hosts in the Hall of fucking Fame.
Hey Rock, we want you to go in the Hall of Fame this year. That's cool as long as Kevin gets to be in there.
Like what?
All right, nigga? Okay. All right. Sure. Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah. Excuse my language, but I'm just like, bro. It's like I have never really seen a friendship in Hollywood like that. But hey.